Week 10 of the NFL season is here. But before we talk about these games, I think we got to talk about the disastrous Week 9. Well, disastrous for me. Why? Well, I had a 7-7 record. That's not good. Yes, it's at 500, and yes, it might have been better than what I thought I was going to do last week because, obviously I put out the predictions. I knew what games I picked, and I was watching the games, and I was like, yikes. I'm going to have like a 3-12 record this week, but I ended up going 7-7, so, it's not good, but it's not too bad. But that's 500. That's like going 8-8 in the NFL. That's you don't want that. You don't want to go 8-8. That's decent, but not good enough. So hopefully here in week 10 we do way better. So let's get into these games. Starting off Thursday night football game, Chargers at Raiders. This one's an important game because right now, in the AFC playoffs, the Colts have the 6th seed. The Colts could very easily slip up. Now, who's behind the Colts in the 7th and 8th spot? The Raiders and Chargers. The Raiders and Chargers have both beaten the Colts, meaning if the Raiders, Chargers, and Colts all finish with the same record, the Raiders or Chargers would get into the playoffs over the Colts because they have the head-to-head tiebreaker. So this game is pretty important for both teams. The Raiders, if they win, they get to 5-4, one game above 500, which is really impressive, honestly. I didn't think the Raiders were going to be this good this season, and if the Chargers win, they get back to 500 at 5-5, and after that pretty bad start to the season they had, and all those injuries, getting to 5-5 would be great. And I'm also hearing that Derwin James will be coming back for them very, very soon. So the Chargers are starting to get healthy again. So if they get a win here in Thursday Night Football, maybe they can make a push late in the season to get into the playoffs because they do have the tiebreaker over the Colts. Now, there's a hard part. Choosing which one wins. Like, do I take the Chargers or the Raiders? I like both of these teams, man. I like what John Gruden's doing with the Raiders. I love Anthony Lynn and the Chargers. Since this is Thursday Night Football, I'm going to have to go with the home team. This is going to be a very good game, a very close game in my opinion. And I see the Raiders coming out on top in this one, even though the LA Chargers, ever since they moved to LA, they haven't lost to the Raiders. But here in Week 10, Thursday Night Football, I feel like the Raiders get the win, and they get to 5-4, as the Chargers fall to a very disappointing 4-6. Next game, Ravens at Bengals. Bengals, they're 0-8. They suck. The Ravens, they're arguably the best team in the AFC after what they did to New England last Sunday. The Bengals, yeah, they're at home. Yeah, they're coming off a bye week. But they're starting a rookie quarterback. I just do not think the Bengals stand a chance against the Ravens, even though everything is in their favor, at home, divisional opponents, so them after the bye week, everything's in the Bengals' favor, but I just don't see them being able to beat the Ravens. I just don't see it. I don't think Andy Dalton's the issue in Cincinnati. I think it's coaching, offensive line, lack of talent. I don't think Dalton's the biggest issue. Now, he is an issue, don't get me wrong, but not the biggest one. Next game, Bills at Browns. I'm taking the Bills in this one. Baker Mayfield sucks against any team. And now he's going up against one of the best defenses in the NFL. I mean, don't get me wrong, Josh Allen is also trash. Josh Allen, he's just garbage, man. Baker Mayfield's playing worse than Josh Allen, but at least Baker Mayfield has potential, in my opinion. Josh Allen's just trash. Like, he's Blake Bortles, man. Honestly. All these trash quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Trubisky, they're like Blake Bortles, and like, it pisses me off because they're wasting so much talent on a guy like Josh Allen, you know? Remember the Jags in 2017? They went all in with Blake Bortles, and then it kind of blew up in their face the next year. Yeah, that's how I feel like with the Bills, man. Yeah, you know, the Bills might be winning now and all, but Josh Allen isn't getting them anywhere. As for the Browns, well, their season's done. Their coach sucks. You have Odell Beckham, you can't even get him the ball. Baker Mayfield looks like a complete scrub. Like, the Browns are a mess. The Browns are the Browns, man. So, yeah, let's move on to the next game. Panthers at Packers. This one's a pretty important game for the Panthers. The Panthers, even though they're sitting pretty at 5-3, 5-3 at the moment is currently on the outside looking in on the NFC playoff picture. The Panthers aren't in there. This, in my opinion, is a must-win game for the Panthers. If they don't win, well, they're 5-4, and honestly, even though 5-4 after 9 games is pretty decent, I don't think that's good enough to eventually get them into the playoffs unless, you know, they win out. Because the NFC right now is stacked. As for the Packers, well, they lost last week. They're 7-2. You know, top of the division. Yes, you have the Vikings at 6-3 behind you, but you have that tiebreaker over them as of right now, the head-to-head tiebreaker. They'll play them again later on in the season to actually determine who gets a tiebreaker. But yeah, I just don't see the Packers losing 2 games in a row, especially with this one being at home. Yes, I love the Panthers defense. Shaq Thompson, Bradbury, Luke Kuechly. I like Christian McCaffrey, dude's a legit MVP candidate, but after what happened last week versus the Chargers, I think the Packers are going to come out swinging. I mean, last week was an embarrassment for the Packers, so I think the Packers win this one and get back on track. Next game, Falcons at Saints. Come on, man. The Falcons are a complete mess. The Saints, well, they're the Saints, man. They're arguably the best team in the NFL. Yeah, I mean, the Niners are undefeated, but I mean, who have they played? The Saints. They're legit. Next game, Lions at Bears. I am taking the Lions in this one. The Bears, their defense isn't as good as last year. They have no run game. Trubisky is garbage. The Bears are just a mess, man. Their season's over here. I mean, I think their season's over regardless, even if they win or lose. I think their season's done. The Lions, they're 3-4-1. Their season's done as well, but I do like the Lions way more than I like the Bears at this point. So I'm taking the Lions in this one. Next game, Giants at Jets. New York football, man, trash. The Giants are trash. The Jets are trash. But I do like the Giants better. Saquon Barkley, Golden Tate, Danny Dimes is playing better than Sam Darnold. Yeah, I'm taking the Giants in this one. Sorry, Jets. You guys, I had the Jets being like an 8-8 team, 9-7 team this season, but yikes, they've been a complete disappointment. Adam Gase should probably be fired after the season. Next game, Chiefs at Titans. I am taking the Chiefs in this one. I just don't think the Titans can stop Patrick Mahomes. The Titans, they're a badly coached team. They're not very good. Yes, their defense is pretty good, but I mean, I don't think they can stop Patrick Mahomes because I do think Patrick Mahomes will be back this game because on Wednesday, Patrick Mahomes was a full participant in practice. So I do think Patrick Mahomes will play this game, and I do think he'll shred the Titans. Ryan Tannehill will not be able to keep up with Patrick Mahomes. So the Chiefs win. However, I will say this. If the Titans somehow manage to win this game, I wouldn't be totally shocked at all. Why? Because for whatever reason, the Tennessee Titans, whenever you count them out, they go out there and get a win. Whenever you start believing in them, they go out there and get embarrassed. For whatever reason, that's the team the Titans have been for like the past 5 years. So weird, man, but I do think the Chiefs win this one, but wouldn't be shocked if the Titans somehow found a way to win it as well. Next game, Cardinals at Buccaneers. Both these teams aren't going anywhere, when it comes to the playoffs. But, I mean, Kyler Murray, he's doing way better than I thought he would. Yes, he has a few bad moments, but, I mean, he's a rookie. I mean, it's going to happen. The Buccaneers, Bruce Arians is one hell of a coach, man. I love him. And he makes me like the Buccaneers. Not going to lie, man. I like the Buccaneers. They're the ultimate boomer bust team. 1 week, Jameis Winston can ball out, throw for 400 yards and like 5 touchdowns. The next week, he can throw 5 picks. That's just who the Buccaneers are. You don't know what Buccaneers team you're getting, any day of the week. Like just last week, they got into a shootout with Russell Wilson. Yeah, they lost, but still, a shootout with Russell Wilson took the game into overtime. That's very impressive. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin balling out over there. I like the Buccaneers, man. They're fun to watch, fun to root for. I'm taking the Bucs in this one, man. I think they'll easily beat the Cardinals. Next game, Dolphins at Colts. I'm taking the Colts. I mean, I think the Colts will win, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Dolphins win either, especially if Brian Hoyer starts in place of Jacoby Brissett. I feel like Brian Hoyer is more dangerous, but he's also more prone to throwing interceptions and turning the ball over. Whereas Brissett, he's just little captain check down. He doesn't throw the ball deep because he's scared. So, depending on who plays, if it's Brissett, I think the Colts win. If it's Brian Hoyer, I still think the Colts win, but I do think the Dolphins would stand a chance. Next game, Rams and Steelers. Even though I don't like the Rams, I'm taking the Rams in this one. The Steelers, they're currently 4-4, which is really impressive, especially after Big Ben went down. But, I still don't like the Steelers. I don't think they're a legit team. I feel like the Rams are going to go in there and just completely wipe the floor with them. Next game, Vikings at Cowboys. This one should be a good one, man. Cowboys 5-3, Vikings 6-3. This is a huge game for both teams because of the Cowboys. If they lose, they go to 5-4, and the Eagles can overtake them for the division here in the coming weeks. If the Vikings lose, well, they fought a 6-4, and there's a bunch of teams in the NFC that want to take a playoff spot. Right now, the Vikings, I believe, they have the 6th seed, but if they lose, then they're letting teams like the Eagles, Panthers, and Rams creep up on them. So, must-win game for the Vikings, must-win game for the Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys in this one because I don't trust Kirk Cousins versus a playoff team in prime time. Next game, Monday Night Football. Seahawks at Niners. I am taking the Seahawks in this one. I don't think the Niners are legit, even though they're, 9-0, 8-0. I don't think they're legit. I think the Seahawks get the win here and, inch closer to taking that division from the Niners. And yeah, those are my predictions for the week. Comment down below your own predictions for the week. And be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.